Todd, take it away.
Oh, great. I don't know how to follow that, but here we go. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. Today, we're going with the Greater Phoenix Metropolitan Market statistics for the week ending May 13th. Let's get right into our numbers. Across the board, 69 days closed on market, a 3-month supply. We're sitting at a 32.74 absorption rate. Average list price this past week came down to 826. Average sale price to 605, and our list price to sale price retention at 98.02. Active inventory fared well, up quite a bit, 1.3. 18,404 is the available active non-distressed single-family property out there. Pending is at 4,369, and closed units for the month at 2,333. New listings this past week, we took 1,933 new listings. Days on market for active was at 98.2, and for closed at 68.6. Looking at our price range in the lower left-hand corner, you'll notice the items in red are the ones that have declined week over week. And in this particular example, you'll see most of those the contractions were in the $2 million and up market. The 800 and million was activated or affected is the right word a little bit. But the rest of the categories under $800,000 all had positive increases in unit volume. That's where the unit count went to for the people that were adding inventory this week. Looking at under 600,000 representing 62.9%. That's up 600 to a million at 21.88%. That's up. And again, that $1 million category is what took the hit at 15.21. So the spreadsheet this past week, there's a lot actually going on in the spreadsheet today. So most of you know the drill here. We look at week over week, year over year, and month over month. So starting up in the red box, we have 1,933 listings this past week. That wasn't really what we wanted. We're over on the left-hand side. 2,400 is our sweet spot. 2,081 last week. But again, I'm always trying to compare because I want to know how's the market moving in comparison to last year. So if you look at 1933 under May, and then you slide your eyes to the right to the salmon color, just to the left of the goldenrod, you'll see it was 1,727 units that were listed last year. So I always want you to look at that number, see how it's trending from the 2,000 listings the week before, but probably most important is look at what's happening from last year, that salmon column. That's the one you really should be comparing it to. So 18,408 units is what we're up to right now. We were at 12,827 last year, and again, only 9,000 the year before that. So we really should be careful what we're complaining about because we've got great inventory at this particular moment. 614 of those are in the coming soon category, the only category that had a contraction this week. 14,216 were single-family non-distressed. 2,718 new home constructions, and that had a lot to do with it because if you notice, that's a 50 unit jump right there. So that did have a lot to do with increasing the inventory. Non-distressed at 18,327, 99.6. Again, the distressed inventory is less than 0.4, less than 0.4 of 1%. Looking at pending is at 4,369. We're at 4,330, so that means there's a few more buyers in the marketplace. Last year, though, we had 4,550 people in the market. But again, we may remember a year ago last month, so slide your eyes way over into the blue column. Under the April 2023, you'll see the number 7,796. That's how many people were in escrow at any one time in the month of April in 2023. So when we're looking at 4,369, way over on the left-hand side, you'll see 5,500 is the sweet spot. So anytime we're above 5,500, that's a good thing. But again, we're a little short, which is part of the reason why inventory is slow, or the days on market is slow. Looking at closed units, we're at 2,333 month to date. Double digits down, but let's give it time to incubate a little bit and see what's actually happening. So the month's supply finished up at 3.05 this past week, again, right in the sweet spot of where we want it to be. Taking a look at median sales price at the very bottom number in that red box, $450,000, a little bit of a reprieve from the $453 last week. 2 years ago, if you look in the goldenrod, we were at $467. So yeah, this number went from the beginning of this year from about $439,000 up to as high as $460 this past year, but it popped right back down. So that 467 you're seeing a couple of years ago, that is actually that was one of the averages for quite a while. So again, 450 right now is saying, yeah, the median price is escalating a little bit, up about 10,000 from the beginning of the year, meaning the average prices, the median price of all the homes. But again, it's just one of those positive things to look at, not negative, because it's much more stable than you would have thought of in a market like we're in. And then finally, taking a look at days on market, again, 70 is a sweet spot. It's right where we're at, 69, and the list price to sell price retention, 98.02. Again, just to make sure everybody is aware, what was the difference? How much retention did the seller have at the time they accepted the buyer's offer? What was the list price at the time they accepted it? And so that 2% negotiation is not concessions. But you need to know, as a buyer's agent, that there's 2% pretty much on the table right now as far as a discount off list price that has nothing to do with page 2 concessions. So again, if you need a couple extra, if you're gonna, there's 2.2% of negotiation. If we're talking about compensation, if we're talking about increasing concessions to handle or assist that buyer in their the expenses that they have to close, primarily now due to the addition of the compensation, then this is a very, very important number that you need to understand. This has nothing to do with the concessions. This is purely just a discount from the list price. So if you don't need the discount from the list price, pay the comparable value maybe, and then ask for those additional concessions as you're writing your offer. So that's the numbers this week, Mike, and thanks everybody for joining us.
All right, good stuff as usual. We're going to bring